Let's jump into our first game here this morning. We are at the coveted level 4. As I've explained a few times, it really won't change our habits, but it'll certainly change the order. And there's going to be a lot of things in level 4 that are more macro that we just want to keep an eye on. Whether it's a important endgame, rook endgame, king of pawn endgame. Castling as well. Well, this is a great example, something we've done just about every single time. Bishop to c5. And I tell you, bishop takes, pawn takes is something we've done the entire series up to level 4. The entire series. I really mean it, the entire series. And we just blunder this pawn, basically. Now, it's not going to be a particularly exciting move, but something as simple as just defending the center pawn at least is going to get us a much better position. I need to see us actually defending this pawn for the first time in the entire Habit series. And look at this. At least I got castle and I kept my center pawn. Are you proud? Okay. c3. We can't really get our bishop out. Okay. Let's see if we can find out more about what that bishop's doing. No? All right. We're snorking up. Pawn in the center. We'll take and we'll try to gain the center ourselves. Yeah, if the bishop captured us earlier, you're definitely right. I probably would take with this pawn, but we haven't quite seen that in this level yet. We'll still put the knight in the center when attacked. Let's get our bishop developed here. Towards the center. Rook to c1. All right. I have a threat there, but I think we can go back to our usual stuff. We have all the makings of a strong habits position. Pieces controlling the center, rooks coming to the center. Oh, what's this? What's this, you say? A free pawn for me. Well, I can't take it with the queen, so maybe with the bishop makes some sense. Knight e5. Well, let's move the queen. Suppose we stay in the center. Okay, let's take that. Oh, crafty. Crafty from our opponent here. Well, worst thing we could do is panic. If he's attacking both rooks, I mean, probably just going to let the guy do his thing. Which one is he going to take? He's wise. He takes the one in the corner. Crafty. All right. Let's go here. Stay close to the center. We're already a little bit worse here. We lost some material on c6, but okay. White's just played this, which I would say is a little bit strange. We do get to capture pawn in the center, which I won't be shy about. And maybe we can get some pawn moves up as well. Okay, let's see, rook c2. Don't see any particular tactics. We can always question the bishop, see if we can get a trade there. Now, obviously, trading pieces is not ideal when you're down material, but I don't feel like I'm down that much material here. I'm pretty solid in the center. Okay, he takes. He's attacking our pawn here. Let's defend. Maybe we can start pushing this. That's my idea. Nope. Okay. Not ideal. Not ideal. Can we push? Can we push? Simple question. Rook C1. Well, maybe this is something. We'll just keep pushing. Make something good happen here. Oh, okay. Well, not great. Take that back. Probably going to need to move the queen into the middle of the board here. And again, not looking to trade queens here if we can avoid it. So, yeah, we'll go into the middle. All right, well, we have a nice pawn, but it can't really go any further. My king's still pretty safe. I'm not too sure what we want to do next, honestly. We definitely don't want to trade the queens if we can avoid it. We can support this pawn, but that's kind of it. Attack the rook. Okay, I guess we have to defend this pawn. B4. It's tough because I'm in the center of the board, but neither of these pieces are ones that we can move out of the way. Okay, I guess I'll move my king. I don't really have a useful move, so at some point this will be a check. We can hide in our snorkel here. That's why we put it there so many moves ago. Whoa, hang on a sec, guys. I'll just move into the center here. G4 is very unnecessary. I don't know that I agree with that from him. It's a good example of why, I mean, the habits would keep us a lot safer here as white if you imagine playing your opponent's position. Okay. What do we do? Like, attack the rook, maybe? I do want to stay in the center, but okay. I'm just going to go there. We'll keep the pieces in the center. Okay, the guy's playing b6. We have a last-ditch threat here. Keeping our pieces in the center. The guy made probably only one bad move the entire game, and it's this one. I still don't know that it will be enough for him to lose, but this queen move is very effective here. It stops this this pawn. Okay, let's take again. Ooh. He's clever, this guy. He's clever. Let's take it. All right. We both have a queen. This is one of those situations where we have to pre-move. Have to guess. Yes. He could have gone to h1. That was a literal lottery. We just had to guess. We'll take that. Could have gone to h1, g1. I remember he was a few times on g3, but couldn't keep a perfect count. A repetition with less than a second is always always nice. But guys, seriously, this guy was unassailable. Not only did he have a beautiful tactic earlier, right? Gotta be impressed by this. I don't know if you guys spotted this, but a very, very cool move here, e6. Totally correct. And netting himself some extra material. And I don't even think he played it poorly after that. He collected a pawn and he blockaded the pass pawn. I thought he played a great game, but he was up on time, was up on position, everything was good. But I'll tell you one thing that he did not do. Even after many, many opportunities, he did not resist the temptation to play g4. It was not necessary, and it's the only reason that he lost. So he could have lost immediately. The move g4, if you flip the position, I hope you guys would never play this move. I hope you would never consider it. You have passed pawns with nothing in front of them, right? We need to be pushing, trying to trade queens maybe, but never would we consider moving one of these. So the guy plays g4, and it's like, first of all, immediately the game can end right here. And why? It's his own move. He does it to himself. We decide to play a bit more of a central operation here, but still we're able to line up a possible checkmate. None of it would be possible, okay, without g4. So it's very important. You're in a great position like this. I don't know what the temptation is with attacking a bishop. It's like you guys think that Black's brain is just gonna fail, like he's just gonna allow you to take it or something. I don't know what the obsession is here, but clearly it's not worth it, right? You're overextended. This isn't a good move by any standard. So opponent played great, but amazingly, one misstep cost the entire game. In this case, only cost a half point. Could have easily cost the entire point. We don't do this, though. So even though we kind of got outplayed here for the most part, I would say, kept our stick on the ice, pushed a pass pawn, and just moved our pieces around in the middle, and we're able to create some mate threats only based on this one mistake. Not bad. Not bad, but it was so unnecessary by him. Good reminder that the guy can play a perfect game minus one move, and it's still a problem. Yeah, but we know, guys, RPMs do not happen in front of the king. We understand? Remember that. Apollo, thanks for the 41 months with Prime. Highway Bug, 29. Skatey Bar, 22. Tapir Knight, thank you for the 2 years. And good morning to Circler Tapir. Trying to FK Gone. If only they'd listen. Let's jump into the next one. We barely survived our first game of the day here, but it's nice to know that we only survived because our opponent broke a crucial habit that we would never do. All right. Pawn into the middle. We're up against the Sicilian. What could we possibly do against the Sicilian? Oh yeah, the same thing we always do. Okay, and for the first time ever, it took an 1827. We've never seen this move up until now. Obviously, we do want to take this. And we got to make sure to take the center here. Takes us. We're going to take back. Comes with the pawn. Now, at this point, obviously, captures make sense, but nothing makes more sense than attacking the queen. So we just have to start with this move, the 2 knights out. And yes, as expected, our opponent is going to play bishop b4. So, I mean, what are we going to do after this? We got to take. See what he wants to do. Obviously, the queen was not hanging there. It was pinned. Again, pinned. So our next move is going to be pretty much forced. The bishop comes out, and due to the pin, we could easily see that we might need to defend that. King's in check. Let's get moving. Okay, easy capture to make. Oh, this isn't so bad. Tolerable. Nice pawn structure. Yeah. Ha ha, guys. Let's laugh it up at Habitual's pawn structure. How about you count the pawns, huh? How about that? How about you count them up and get back to me? That's what I thought. All right. What are we going to do here? Knights coming out. We have a bit of a disconnected pawn structure, but we also have an extra pawn. So it tells me if we don't have an extra pawn, we're probably going to have a really, really brutal position. The extra pawn seems like it's carrying us. So my immediate thought is like, well, find the pawn that could be at risk and support it with as many pieces as possible. Knight comes into the middle. Bishop needs to move. Again, I want to keep supporting that pawn so I don't lose it. Okay, interesting move there. Knight back. I mean, I guess let's finish our development. Yeah, bishop hitting the center. Also hitting a pawn there. Let's not forget that. And this knight does not appear to be doing that much to me here. So I'll probably leave it and continue to support my pawn in the middle. All right, he's going here. This looks very well protected. At this point, I'm in trade mode. I mean, I want to trade anyway, but obviously having an extra pawn is going to make me want to trade even more. Knight here. Well, first of all, let's get our trade in. Guy takes back. I suppose at this point we do have a pin, but a bit of a weird pin. I'm going to stick to something much more logical. Just trade the damn rooks off the board. What are we talking about here? I got an extra pawn. All right, I'm going to take that thing. Okay. Well, let's get the king into the middle. Okay, he's trying to trap the bishop, so I guess we we snork up here, just like usual. Just a regular h3 move. Nothing to see here. Okay. Interesting. Let's continue to bring our king. I would say it's our apart from our extra pawn, it's the one thing I think we're clearly doing much better than the opponent so far, at least. Okay, we have the king. Goes there. You know, maybe a quick little king d5 just to get all the way into the middle, see what he's up to. Continue with our RPMs. Okay, he checks us. We only have one move, so we're just gonna go back. Just wait and see what he wants to do. Okay, we're checked. We'll stay somewhere central, I suppose, for now. Okay, seems like he's almost interested in maybe making a draw here, which I don't know that I'm so interested in. Oh, never mind. Never mind. We see king c6. All right, well, I guess we'll finish off these RPMs. Okay, the bishop's hit. We definitely need to move it. Taking is like, you know, it's really not the move we've been trying to play. We can't really go in the center, so I kind of want to stay nearby. So I'm not really sure where to put this, but like, you know, close to the center. And this bishop is a non-participant, so we've kind of finished up our pawn moves. You know, we have maybe another one we can play, but this bishop is not really a participant right now. So we need to make it one, which means our next couple moves are probably going to be pretty understandable, right? Bishop here, and try to do something with this pawn. So let's see if we can go here. And, well, everyone get ready for this. Check. All right, good talk. Well, let's keep moving the pawns. Okay. Okay, use our king here. And what can we do? What can we do? We don't have a pass pawn yet, which is actually a little bit frustrating. So I'm going to try to take this and then push that pawn. Because right now we have no pass pawn, and it's a little bit concerning. It means that it's hard to make any threats that matter. Like, yeah, we can go attack this pawn, but let me take this and try to push this pawn all the way up the board. I think that's our best plan. Knight e7. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the plan is there, but we got to move our bishop before we move the pawns. So let's go back. I think this is the plan now. Just push. Knights are so damn tricky, I tell you. Playing two bishops against two knights is something that, as you become a very strong player, you always look forward to. But probably anything below a very strong player, the knights are just easier. Okay. We're not going to put a lot of thought into these moves. Simple rule in an endgame. You have a pass pawn and there's nothing in front of it. Send that thing up the board. You see how much he's thinking here? Like, okay, I got one square, so that's an easy move. Let's go. Okay. It's checking me. Defend our pawn and keep pushing it. Wow. Okay, he's just gonna give me the pawn. That's quite the move. All right, we'll bring our bishop into the center. But I mean, the guy's just flagging here. Okay, make a trade. It's not much to this endgame here. I think you guys can agree. As soon as we took this pawn, everything became a lot more clear. We took it, and we had 30 seconds. He had a minute. All I did was move the pawn up one, and move the pawn up again, and all of a sudden the guy's got 20 seconds. Like, you're going to have a better grip on the end game compared to your opponent because you're going to be able to make these moves quickly. You got a pawn that has nothing in front of it, push it. It's simple as that. You know, our opponent actually would have played this end game better if he did the same damn thing. If he started pushing his pawns earlier, it would have been a much more troublesome position. Was the final position winning? Most assuredly so. Brazilian Monk, thanks for the 1,000 bits. So we've been talking about knight and bishop endgames. Don't know if you've been here for those yesterday or the day before, but if we take this, we're immediately entering a position where we've got a dark squared bishop and dark square pawns. So for the entire game, this is of zero interest to me. Zero. I would do it never. Like, I would only do it if for some reason the knight was over here, for some reason the pawn was not there, for some reason... Do you see what I'm saying? There's like 20 conditions that need to happen for me to ever consider this. No. Terrible. This is the exact position we like the knight in, where the bishop and the pawns are all locked on the same color. This is awful. The only reason that I'm doing okay here is I still have this piece. Right? As soon as this piece disappears, the entire game changes. And it's fortunate that we got to play f5, because I think if the opponent had left the knights like this, it would have been very tough for me to continue. I don't think it's a difficult rule. Bishop, pawns on the same color is never something you want to be saddled with against the knight. And then reverse it. If you have the knight, you want your pawns opposite the bishop so they can never be attacked. So in this case, black would be desperate to trade this bishop. Whereas if black traded this knight for that bishop, you see how the position wouldn't be as good. All the pawns can still be attacked. This knight can still be attacked. It's not a solid position. But you get rid of this knight or this bishop for that knight, all of a sudden black is maybe almost better. Okay, we have the white pieces again. E4. We're playing against the French. We'll take the center, and we'll just take this pawn. Bring our knight out, bishop out, and we want a castle. And as I've been saying, probably the main change is just this knight doesn't belong here. Oh, we can snork up here. Easy. Yeah, the knight just doesn't go there. That's it. Like, it functions better here, and then we can play. Well, you see our opponent's doing it as well. We can play c3. Rook to the open file, and would you look at this? We have lots of trade possibilities. Okay, we can't quite get our rook there, so need to find another way to continue these trades. Notice how taking here when there's a knight that can recapture, it's just not going to be a good move. I mean, you can play it, but like I said, it's not going to be a good move. How can I get my rook there? It's not a not a very easy position to navigate. No, let's bring the rook over here. I don't know. I need to move. Okay, bishop's hit. Again, we're not taking that, so we'll bring the bishop back. Whoa. That does not look like a very good move, but let's see. Okay, he takes. Obviously, in this case, queen trade preferred. Now we have to take this way. If there was a way to capture like that, then I would have always captured towards the center, but such is life. Okay, it goes knight to h5. Interesting. Doesn't look like the best move. Let's save our pawn and push. Okay, bishop's hit. I guess we'll save this piece. Okay, we gotta save our knight and bishop there. So we'll bring the rook up, and we're up for trades here always, especially as the rooks will maybe trade. I'm already starting to think ahead to the endgame. It's nice that there are some pawns here that are opposite my bishop. Hey, let's go into an endgame, pal. Oh, okay. Just had to ask. So obviously we want to bring our king in. And this knight, what can it do? It's definitely no good where it is, so it needs to be improved. First things first, the king. Okay, the knight is doing a lot of moving around. Let's keep bringing the king. All right, now the knight's here. We can finally start to think about the rest of our position. This move is going to be pretty nice just because the knight going to the side of the board is only going to get itself trapped. So he's going to have to retreat here, and maybe we can keep moving these pawns. Push, push, push. Yeah, get these pawn moves out. Goes here. Let's take. We can start to bring our king over, and now we can really think, like, where does this knight want to be, right? Okay, he takes. Can kind of centralize our king. We can improve our bishop a little bit. Okay, this knight. Where do we want it? Don't have a ton of amazing squares. The center always looks good. We'll give it a go. Okay, well, that was it. That was, yep, good talk. That's all I got. All right, well, that was the end of that. Okay. We're just doing RPMs here. But notice, these pawns are on light squares, and I have a light square bishop. Immediately, that makes me pretty happy. A lot of people have been asking, like, can we see the bishop play against the knight? We always see the knight against the bishop. So obvious what we need to do. Well, if these knights trade, which looks very likely, at least very possible, then we will have knight against bishop. And I think for the most part, we're setting up a reasonable position. Right? Pawns on light squares, exactly what we'd want to see here. What else can we do? King back, put the knight into the middle. This will really guarantee the bishop versus knight position. Okay, we see c5. Don't think we're that scared of the move c5. Let's play b4. It's a good move on a dark square, but we can try this. This bishop will most likely go where? I mean, f5, right? It's kind of hard not to play there. It could find itself going to like another square to try to attack here, but I don't know. I think it's difficult to avoid playing bishop f5. Seems to be one of the best looking moves. But notice, if all the pawns were on dark squares here for black, like if these were all just shifted a little bit, my bishop would feel useless. But because there's a lot of pawns here, my king can go in and take these, my bishop can go here and take these. In this case, the move knight g7 gives me the option to win both ways. Like everything looks good there. So yeah, at this point, I'm not even sure which one is more reliable. They both look completely winning. But this is why the pawns on light square matter. I have the light squared bishop. It's a big deal. If you understand something as simple as what piece do you have, what color do you want their pawns to be on, it's not difficult. If black understood something about this when I played a4, he might have played a5 because it's on a dark square. It's as simple as that. But he played a6. He just didn't have that understanding. Now I would say either one of these looks completely fine. Let's say king d4 into the center. And unfortunately for our opponent here, it's just not a pawn that's going to outrun my king because we're inside this box here. So we can just go and collect it. And we don't care about these 3 pawns because it's 3-on-3. Like no one ever can make a pass pawn there. So what? I have 2 pass pawns and I'm clearly catching this one. So even though we had the bishop against the knight, not a very difficult endgame at all. Knight and bishop endgames are truly as simple as understanding something as brain dead as the color of the bishop and the color of the pawns. That's it. There's a reason that these pawns are pretty nice over here. I can't touch them. Black should probably play a5. Maybe something like this. Right? Maybe take. Maybe that pawn's a little bit weaker. Now, I'm not saying black's better here, but at least you can try to put the pawns on dark squares, and it'll always be a decent idea every single time. As white, I'm happy that our pawns are like this, and we want to move a lot of pawns, open some lines up, but I don't really have anything here. However, after black plays this, now my pawns are all on dark squares. These are all on light squares. The endgame was won not a couple moves later. Is this habits or a speed run? Well, this is habits. This was a speed run. We'd be obliterating these guys. Instead, I'm playing positions that are very often drawn, or for example in my previous couple games lost, and opponents haven't always capitalized. Our first game of the day should have been an easy loss, but the guy broke habits completely with g4. Craziness. Okay. d4, we definitely played d5, and main difference in level 4 is we just don't take. I prefer to defend and then just bring the knight, bishop, castle. This is an interesting move. Haven't seen this one before. Let's stick with our usual. Wow, very strange move. We'll take and castle. Haven't seen this before. It's possible that it could work very well. Okay, well, we have to go here. Then the knight comes out. We know we don't want to put the knight in front of this pawn, We also can't put it there now. So a little concerning here. Don't really have a place for these pieces to move. We don't want to do this. So maybe we can bring our bishop like this to develop it, which is something we have been doing. Okay, castles. Again, the knight in front of the pawn is it's really not what we've been trying to do. So I think this one makes the most sense in order to get the knight out. We'll wait and see what he wants to do. Not thrilled, but there's no way I'm playing knight here. This is kind of a big change in the series. This knight always goes to d7. That would be unfortunate if we had to do that. Knight e4. Well, yeah, but we're definitely not interested in taking that, so I really have no other option. I don't want to put the knight in front of the pawn, so c5 it is. Okay, pawn to d5. We definitely need to take, and I guess we need to take again, and just whatever happens, happens. But it is a pawn in the center, so I would say it needs to be captured. Knight goes back. I mean, I'm desperate to develop this thing, so let's go. There are definitely some pieces converging on my king over there. But like I said, I just have to stick to my development habits. If I survive the position, good. If not, this was a rather unusual opening. So first of all, don't think it'll be something I see again. Definitely a statistical anomaly. Okay, bishop to f4. And what can we do here? Well, we're low on ideas. I think we want to take this pawn in the center, so we've developed our knights at least. Take here, try to take this center pawn. See how he wants to handle it. Yeah, I am trying to trade my way out of trouble. It's a good way to put it. It seems to be working reasonably well. Okay, let me continue the trade fest. All right, queen's attacked. I guess we got to get out of this. Rook's into the middle. Okay, yeah, bishop is kind of loose here. He's like, bishop move to attack the center makes sense. Okay, that is a red dot. Let me move that king. Rook d1, rook d8. Not a difficult move. It's very well protected here on d8, and we need to trade, so. All right. Knight to d6. Well, a very well-supported knight. But definitely, I would say well-supported due to the fact that the rooks are there. So, again, not a remarkable move here, but this check will actually disconnect everything. So, Yeah, bishop d4 right in the center. It's probably a move I would consider even if it didn't win a knight. Like, so yeah, we get to take that and see what happens there. Queen, and what can we do? Guess we have a nice queen trade here. Simplify. Take that. Sure. Equal rook endgame, just as we drew it up. No problem. Nice tactic there, Emmanuel. We got burned for trying to trade the queens here. It's tough out there. All right, rook endgame. What can we do? You attack my pawn, I attack your pawn. How about that? Okay, I have no more pawns to attack. Okay, king's coming up. We can do the same. Rook hit. What do we have? Don't really have a good place for this. Oh, how did this game get so bad? I mean, it is kind of a fork, actually. It's with the king, and it's only hitting a pawn, so it doesn't feel like a beautiful fork, but it kind of is. Try to use our king. Oh, okay. That's the end of that. Can we take something here? Our pawn's hit. We've got to save that. Rook endgames. I mean, we need some kind of pressure here. I need some counterplay, you know? Like, I need to hit a pawn and actually be able to take it. So okay. Let's get a pawn going here. I'm gonna need to use my rook to defend against the pawn there as well. We can push ours. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, I'm coming here. 1 sec. Give me a sec. I'm almost there. Okay. The guy was not the fastest. And, oh, +2 for a draw. We take that. Onwards and upwards. It's in the right direction. Not gonna lie, this was a pretty slick tactic, especially because what would be the recommendation every single time? It's like, of course the recommendation is to sit there and trade queens. Always. I don't even feel bad about this tactic. Like, if you guys are looking to trade queens in a spot like this every time, it's going to work out. I'm not sure what you're saying, David. Kill them with a speedrun opening? What went wrong? I mean, this tactic, but this feels a bit situational. I would be pretty happy if everyone was up material and then found a way to trade queens by force and did it. The fact that there's a tactic present here is just a little bit unlucky, honestly. This opening, however, really threw us off, but I mean, yeah, if you don't take anything in the center, it's no good. So that's why you see me play this. But this doesn't feel good because I'm going away from the center, right? Like I'm taking a pawn kind of on the side of the board. But this, at least I'm capturing a center pawn. If I capture nothing, then I'm just going to have no space and the guy's going to like bowl me over. So we do need to take there. It was a strong attacking game from the opponent, though. We got a little bit lucky that we got this sequence here because, for example, if he had played a different move like this, I don't know, like we would have needed to play this and then d5 would have really hurt. So I just was hating this opening. The knight had to go here. Yeah, it was a really bad start. Really bad start. You must be hearing things, David. Someone asked if this was a speed run or habits. I said it was habits because we're winning and losing games, right? If it was a speed run, well, we'd just be killing people. Like we'd be winning every game, right? Maybe losing to an 800 here and there, but this is a realistic series. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of message you concocted out of that, but okay. E4. Anything? Is this guy here? Give me my elo. Damn it. Never lucky. Never lucky. Sornik, thanks for the 100 bits. Sean loves tea. Oh, go Sean. Can't blame you for that, buddy. Thanks again for the bits, Brazilian Monk. And Old Milwaukee, thanks for 42 months.